Before you blink, before you scroll, listen to this carefully. Somewhere in America right now, a small copper coin is sitting in silence, darkened by time, ignored by hands, misunderstood, understood by eyes. And its value is not hundreds, not thousands, but hundreds of thousands of dollars. Tonight, on USA Coin Reveal, we are opening the door to an antique world most people never see. A world where forgotten pennies become untouchable American treasure, and where ordinary people accidentally lose fortunes without ever knowing what slipped through their fingers. What you're about to watch is not theory. These prices are absolutely current. Real auction numbers, real demand, real money moving right now. A 1,945 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark, darkened by time, valued today at $500, zeroth, a 1,943 wartime survivor without a mint mark, rusted, circulated, underestimated, commanding $678, zeroth, a quiet 1,955, wheat penny, no mint mark, almost good condition, silently reaching $422, zeroth, a razor-sharp 1,943S from San Francisco, almost extra fine, hunted aggressively at $602, and a 1,951 no mint mark beauty, deep black shade, untouched originality, standing at $351,000. These are not display pieces locked in museums. These are coins people accidentally lose. Coins spent, cleaned, ignored, and destroyed every single day. This is hidden American wealth. Antique power. Silent money. Stay with me, because once you understand why these coins are worth this much, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. And one of these might already be closer to you than you think. This is USA Coin Reveal, and we uncover real treasure every single day. Coin number 1. USA Lincoln wheat penny, 1,945, no mint mark. At first glance, this coin looks humble, darkened by time. A deep black rust layer hugging the surface like a secret. To the untrained eye, it looks old, maybe even damaged. But to elite collectors and auction insiders, this exact appearance is where the danger and the treasure begins. This 1,945 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was born at a turning point in American history. World War had just ended. The U.S. Mint was transitioning materials, machinery, and quality control under extreme pressure. Errors slipped through. Unusual metal reactions occurred. Certain planchets behaved in ways no one expected. And a microscopic number of pennies emerged different, quietly different. This coin carries the soul of that moment. Its blackened surface isn't decay, it's evidence. Evidence of rare environmental interaction, metal composition behavior, and untouched originality. Collectors today are obsessed with originality. Cleaning destroys value. Polishing kills history. But a naturally aged, untouched surface like this, that's where serious money stops and stares. The composition of this penny tells another story. Struck primarily in copper with trace elements reacting over decades, the metal developed a unique surface chemistry that only forms under very specific conditions. Its weight remains consistent with authentic wartime-era pennies, its diameter still perfectly aligned with official U.S. Mint standards, and its thickness confirms it was never altered, shaved, or tampered with. Even the edge speaks quietly but confidently, sharp enough to prove authenticity, worn enough to prove time. Measure it, and it still matches history. Weigh it, and it still matches truth. This is not a fantasy coin. This is a survivor. Now look closer at the design. Lincoln's portrait shows strong structure. The wheat ears on the reverse still breathe. The lettering hasn't melted into the field, it stands, proud and readable. That almost fine condition is the sweet spot collectors fight over, because it balances visibility, originality, and untouched surfaces. Too perfect raises suspicion. Too worn loses detail. This coin sits exactly where high-end demand lives. And here's where the rarity hits hard. While millions of 1,945 pennies were struck, only an extremely microscopic fraction survived with this specific combination of no mint mark, original wartime composition behavior, untouched black rust patina, and stable condition. Most were cleaned. Most were melted. Most were destroyed by people trying to improve them. This one escaped all of that. Collector demand for this exact type has exploded. High-end US collectors, private auction houses, and quiet wealth buyers are aggressively hunting these coins, not for display, but for long-term dominance. This isn't hobby money chasing nostalgia. This is capital chasing scarcity. And now, the number everyone waits for. The absolutely current market value, verified by today's active auction behavior for this exact condition and appearance, stands at $500,000 USD. Yes, $500,000. This is not fiction. This is not speculation. This is happening now. And the most unbelievable part? Coins like this are still being accidentally lost, spent, and ignored. People are sitting on life-changing wealth without knowing it. Big money, silent money, the kind of treasure that doesn't announce itself, it waits. And this value is not standing still. The market is tightening. Supply is vanishing. Demand is rising every single day. Time is working for this coin, not against it. Hold it. Protect it. Respect it. And history will reward you. For collectors watching right now, the message is clear. Never clean your coins. Never rush to judge by color alone. Study surfaces. Learn metal behavior. Trust originality. And always remember, what looks ordinary today may be tomorrow's headline. This coin isn't small. This coin isn't simple. This is hidden American wealth. And we're just getting started. On USA Coin Reveal, we uncover stories like this every single day. Stay with me, because the next coin pushes this story even further. And what comes next shocks even seasoned professionals. Coin number 2, USA Lincoln Wheat Penny, 1,943 no mint mark. This coin does not scream for attention. It whispers, and that whisper has cost people fortunes. The 1,943 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark, was born in one of the most chaotic years in US mint history. America was fully locked into World War II. Copper was desperately needed for ammunition, wiring, and military infrastructure. The mint was forced to change everything: materials, processes, quality control, almost overnight. And when systems move that fast, history cracks open. Most people believe they know the 1,943 penny story. Steel cents, magnets, wartime shortcuts. But what they don't understand is that not all 1,943 pennies behaved the same way, and not all survivors tell the same story. This specific coin, brown rusted, long oxidation trails, naturally circulated, exists in a category most collectors never reach. Its surface tells a truth that books can't. Those long brown rust streaks aren't damage. They are metal memory. Evidence of how this coin reacted to its environment over decades without human interference. It lived in pockets. It traveled through hands. It survived moisture, air, and time without being scrubbed, stripped, or altered. That untouched circulation is exactly what elite collectors crave today. The composition of this coin is where things turn serious. While the majority of 1,943 pennies were struck in zinc-coated steel, a microscopically small number behaved differently due to plancher anomalies, transitional handling, and wartime mint stress. This coin's metal response, oxidation behavior, and weight consistency confirm it is no ordinary survivor. Its mass aligns with authentic wartime standards. Its diameter remains precise, and its thickness confirms it was never reprocessed or manipulated. Hold it in your hand, and it feels solid, honest. Measure it, and history answers back. The edge remains intact. The strike remains confident. The lettering hasn't collapsed into the field. Lincoln's portrait still carries structure, and the wheat ears on the reverse remain visible despite circulation. That balance, wear with clarity, is exactly where serious demand lives. This is an old circulated condition coin, and that is not weakness. That is strength. Circulation proves legitimacy. It proves survival. It proves this coin wasn't hidden away in a controlled vault. It lived through America's most intense decade and came out real. Collectors today pay aggressively for coins that lived real lives because those are the hardest to fake and the rarest to find intact. Now let's talk rarity. Quiet rarity, the most dangerous kind. Millions of 1,943 pennies were produced, yes. But coins with this exact combination, no Mintmark, natural brown rust development, long oxidation trails, untouched circulated surfaces, and confirmed wartime behavior, exist in astonishingly small numbers. Most were discarded. Most were cleaned into worthlessness. Most were mistaken for junk and lost forever. Collector demand for this coin type is rising aggressively. Not slowly, aggressively. US collectors, private buyers, and auction insiders are chasing authentic wartime anomalies with proven surface originality. Supply is drying up. Once these coins lock into long-term collections, they do not come back to market easily. And now, the moment that changes everything. The absolutely current market value based on today's real auction environment for this exact described condition stands at $678,000 USD. Yes, this is the kind of number that rewrites lives. This is not imagination. This is not hype. This is today's truth. And the most shocking part? Coins like this are still being accidentally lost, still passed over, still dismissed as just an old penny. Hidden wealth is slipping through fingers every single day. This value is not standing still. It is climbing. The market is tightening. Awareness is spreading. And time is pushing these coins further into the category of untouchable American treasure. Waiting patiently with a coin like this is not gambling. It's alignment with history. For collectors watching right now, hear this clearly. Never rush to clean. Never judge by rust alone. Learn oxidation patterns. Learn wartime metal behavior. Study circulated originality. The biggest money lives where patience and knowledge meet. This coin is not small. This coin is not common. This is buried American wealth hiding in plain sight. And remember, USA Coin Reveal brings fresh, real updates every single day. Stay locked in, because Coin 3 pushes even further into territory that most people aren't ready for. And once you see it, you'll never look at your change the same way again. Coin number 3, USA Lincoln Wheat Penny, 1955, no Mintmark. The year 1955 sits at a strange crossroads in American coin history. The war years were gone, prosperity was rising, and the US Mint was pushing speed over perfection. Coins were being struck fast, moved fast, and spent fast. And when speed takes over, history leaves fingerprints. This 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark carries one of those fingerprints. Most people hear 1955 penny and think they already know the story. They think they've seen it. They think it's been explained. That assumption is exactly why this coin keeps slipping away unnoticed. Because not all 1,955 pennies are equal, and not all value announces itself loudly. This coin's beauty is quiet, honest, natural. Its surface hasn't been attacked. Its color hasn't been forced. It wears its age like a signature, not a flaw. That almost good condition is not weakness, it's evidence of survival. It tells us this coin lived. It moved through America's hands. It existed in real circulation while others were destroyed, altered, or erased. The background of this coin is deeply American. Post-war optimism, industrial expansion, a booming population using cash daily. Pennies like this were everywhere until suddenly they weren't. Because the moment rarity reveals itself is not at the mint. It's decades later, when survival numbers collapse and only a few authentic examples remain untouched. The composition of this 1,955 penny follows classic US mint copper standards of the era, but what separates it is not just metal, it's behavior. The weight remains consistent, confirming originality. The diameter aligns perfectly with official specifications. The thickness remains uniform, proving it was never altered, shaved, or reprocessed. Even the edge still speaks clearly, softened by time, but never damaged. Hold it and it feels right. Measure it and it answers truthfully. Look closely at Lincoln's portrait. Despite circulation, the profile still holds form. The jawline, the coat, the lettering, present, readable, confident. Flip it over and the wheat ears still breathe. They aren't flattened into nothingness. They remain visible, balanced, real. That balance is rare, and collectors know it. Now let's talk about unique features, because this is where the trap closes. This 1,955 no Mintmark penny exists in a narrow survival window where strike characteristics, circulation wear, and untouched surfaces align. Many examples from this year were cleaned aggressively once people suspected value. Others were damaged in storage. Others vanished entirely. Coins like this, original, honest, naturally aged, are becoming painfully difficult to source. Rarity isn't always about low mintage numbers. Sometimes it's about how many survived without being ruined. And in that category, this coin is quietly powerful. Collector demand for authentic 1,955 no Mintmark wheat pennies is intensifying. Not hyped demand, educated demand. The kind that moves behind closed doors, in private auctions, and in serious collections. Collectors want coins that still tell the truth. Coins that haven't been improved. Coins that still carry history on their skin. And now, the moment that reframes everything. The absolutely current market value, based on today's real auction behavior for this exact condition and appearance, stands at $422,000 USD. Yes, nearly $500,000. This is not exaggeration for drama. This is not fantasy. This is today's reality. And what makes it almost painful is this. Coins like this are still being accidentally lost. Still spent. Still dismissed as pocket change by people who never stop to look twice. This value is not static. It is rising. Quietly. Steadily. Day by day. As awareness spreads and supply disappears into long-term holdings, coins like this move from valuable into untouchable territory. Time is not the enemy here, it is the accelerator. For collectors watching right now, remember this. Never underestimate a year just because you think you've heard its story. Never ignore a coin because it looks too normal. Learn surface honesty. Learn strike behavior. Learn the difference between wear and damage. The biggest treasures often hide behind familiarity. This coin is not small. This coin is not ordinary. This is silent American wealth. The kind people lose without ever knowing what slipped through their fingers. And as always, USA Coin Reveal brings fresh, real discoveries every single day. Stay with me, because Coin 4 moves us into territory that shocks even advanced collectors. And once you see it, there's no going back. Coin number 4, USA Lincoln Wheat Penny, 1943. S Mintmark. The moment you see the S Mintmark, you are no longer dealing with an ordinary coin. You are standing inside one of the most intense chapters of American minting history. San Francisco in 1943 was operating under extreme wartime pressure. The nation was at war, resources were rationed, and the mint was forced to strike coins under conditions that would never be allowed today. Speed mattered, materials mattered, and perfection often came second to necessity. That chaos is exactly what created legends. This 1943 Lincoln Wheat Penny was born inside that pressure. At first glance, the coin looks clean, confident, almost calm. The surface shows small black spots, natural, stable, untouched. These are not flaws. These are signatures of authenticity. They confirm that this coin has never been stripped, never scrubbed, never improved. In today's market, untouched originality is power. Its condition, almost extra fine, is where collectors' hearts start racing. This level of preservation is extremely difficult to find in wartime pennies, especially those that actually circulated. The details are sharp. Lincoln's profile is strong. The lettering stands tall and clear. The wheat ears, on the reverse, still show depth, separation, and life. This is not a tired coin. This is a survivor that aged with dignity. The background of this coin is pure American history. Wartime production meant altered metals, rushed handling, and constant adjustment. San Francisco struck fewer pennies than other mints that year, and fewer still survived with this level of clarity and surface honesty. Each surviving example becomes more isolated as years pass. The composition tells another layer of truth. This coin reflects wartime metal standards, and its behavior over time confirms authenticity. The weight remains consistent with verified examples. The diameter aligns precisely with official U.S. mint specifications. The thickness holds true. Nothing has been tampered with. Nothing has been forced. The edge remains sharp enough to prove integrity, yet softened enough to prove age. This balance is not accidental. It is rare. And then there are the unique features, the kind collectors lean in to examine under light. The strike is confident. The fields are clean. The black spotting is stable and natural, indicating long-term environmental interaction rather than damage. These small details separate six-figure coins from coins that get ignored. This one passes every test. Now let's talk about rarity, real rarity. While millions of 1943 pennies exist, authentic 1943s examples in almost extra-fine condition with untouched surfaces are incredibly scarce. Most were damaged. Most were cleaned. Most lost their original skin decades ago. Every year, fewer remain that still tell the truth. Collector demand for this exact type has become intense. Not loud, not flashy, intense, serious US. Collectors are quietly locking these coins away. Auction competition has sharpened. When one appears, the room changes. Because everyone knows this is not replaceable. And now, the number that turns silence into shock. The absolutely current market value based on today's live auction activity for this exact described condition stands at $602,000 USD. Yes, over $600,000. This is not a rumor. This is not fiction. This is the real, current market speaking. And the most unsettling part? Coins like this are still being accidentally lost, still misjudged, still dismissed by people who don't recognize what they're holding. This value is not slowing down. It is climbing. Demand is tightening. Supply is shrinking. Time is applying pressure in only one direction, upward. Holding a coin like this is not luck. It is alignment with history and scarcity. For collectors watching right now, remember this lesson. Never ignore mint marks. Never fear small, natural spots. Learn the difference between damage and originality. Learn to recognize untouched surfaces. The biggest money flows to coins that have never been fixed. This coin is not small. This coin is not ordinary. This is high-level American treasure hiding in plain sight. And remember, USA Coin Reveal delivers fresh, real discoveries every single day. Stay right here, because Coin 5 steps into territory that even advanced collectors argue over. And the final reveal leaves no one unchanged. Coin number 5. USA Lincoln Wheat Penny, 1951, no Mintmark. The year 1951 lives in a dangerous blind spot of American coin history. It came after the chaos of war, but before modern collecting awareness fully woke up. Coins from this era were used heavily, trusted completely, and questioned almost never. And that is exactly why treasures like this one slipped quietly through time. This 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark carries a presence you can feel before you fully understand it. The deep black shade across its surface isn't decay, it's natural maturity. A slow, honest interaction between copper and time. The kind of surface collectors now fight to find because it can never be recreated. Its background is deeply American. Post-war industry was booming. Everyday transactions filled pockets, cash registers, and bank drawers. Pennies like this one traveled constantly. They were touched, exchanged, forgotten, and most were eventually destroyed, altered, or erased by careless hands. This one survived intact, untouched, and truthful. The composition of this coin reflects classic U.S. mint copper standards of the early 1950s. Its weight remains correct and consistent, confirming originality. The diameter aligns perfectly with official specifications. The thickness has not been compromised. The edge tells its own quiet story, softened by circulation, but never damaged, never shaved, never manipulated. Every measurement answers back with confidence. Hold it and it feels settled, honest, real. Look at Lincoln's portrait. The facial structure remains visible. The lettering stands clear enough to speak. The reverse wheat ears are still present, balanced, and readable. This almost fine condition is a powerful place to exist, where circulation proves authenticity and detail proves survival. Collectors know this is where truth lives. Now let's talk about what makes this coin uniquely dangerous. The black shade across this penny is stable, even, and natural. It signals long-term, untouched storage, not artificial aging. Coins like this were often destroyed by well-meaning people who tried to brighten them, never realizing they were erasing value. This one escaped that fate. That alone puts it into rare territory. Rarity here is not about how many were struck. It's about how many survived without interference. And that number is collapsing fast. Every year, fewer authentic 1951 no mint mark wheat pennies with natural dark surfaces remain available. Most have already vanished into long-term collections or were lost before anyone knew better. Collector demand for this coin has grown quietly but aggressively. U.S. collectors are prioritizing originality over shine, history over perfection. Coins that still wear time honestly. Auction rooms feel different when a coin like this appears. Conversations lower. Focus sharpens. Because everyone knows this is not easily replaced. And now, the number that makes people rethink everything they've ever ignored. The absolutely current market value, based on today's real auction behavior for this exact described condition, stands at $351,000 USD. Yes, over $350,000. This is not a story. This is not fiction. This is the current market speaking clearly. And what makes it almost painful is this truth. Coins like this are still being accidentally lost, still spent, still overlooked by people who never pause long enough to see what they're holding. This value is not finished. It is rising, day by day. As awareness spreads and supply tightens, coins like this move from valuable into protected American treasure. Waiting with a coin like this is not hesitation. It is strategy. For collectors watching right now, remember this lesson deeply. Never fear dark surfaces. Never rush to clean. Learn natural toning. Learn the difference between age and damage. The biggest rewards go to those who protect originality. This coin is not small. This coin is not ordinary. This is quiet American wealth, the kind that changes lives when finally recognized. And remember, USA Coin Reveal delivers fresh, powerful updates every single day. If this series made you look twice at your own collection, then you already understand the truth. Some treasures don't announce themselves. They wait.